Hello lovies, I'm Colonel Failure and you're watching Transport Fever Mainline, the tail end of the series. Oh, it's not the very tail end, we're in the tail of the end of the series, but we're not at the end of the... Shall I crack on? Anyway, we are sat here in our deck chair just outside Atlantis. I chose Atlantis because it had some action going on. I've not really paid enough attention to the Regiode yet. It looks rather smart in its all yellow get-up. There you go. Anyway, for those of you who are still able to track the passing of time in this rather ludicrous series, it is now the year 2670, and since you were last here, I have gone and converted the entire network to double up, double down. So we'll do a quick tour of that, so you can see exactly how it's working. I think it is maybe 10% more efficient, and that's a number I just picked out of the air. Anyway, today what we're going to be focusing on is passengers. We're going to take existing lines and either make them better or... No, that's it. We're just going to make them better. We've rejoined the action just outside Sherma. Well, we're not actually outside Sherma. We're in Sherma, in this bit of greenbelt that nobody seems to want to build. Well, it's actually, there's quite a lot of slope going on, so that kind of explains that. Sherma, because it was one of the very first stations that we built. And I thought, well, we've not really paid much attention to it in a while. And therefore, this would be a great place to start the episode because it's sure to have lots of lovely trains for people to look at. No, it's another one, look. Anyway, one of the reasons for picking Sherma rather than something else is because it does have some of the most profitable services running through it. So we're going to have to go, yeah, I know, brace yourselves, numbers coming up, dig in. Right, okay, so if we bring up the old route mixer here, and we look at, no, let's not look at the bad routes, let's look at the good ones. So you've got a cross-country route there, not interested for the moment, although look at the amount of money that's making. I think we'll have to count. We could start there, but we're not going to. And then you've also got another crossing route here. So that's New York to Pleasant View. You've then got New York to Hogsmeade. Both crossing routes. You've then got a third crossing route, which is Moss Isley to Hill Valley. And then another, I don't know, because they're moving around. It's allowing you to become confused, which is not the biggest challenge you're ever going to be confronted. Here we go. It's these locals are the ones we're looking at here. And let's have a look. These two are the big hitters, which is Hogsmeade to Pleasant View, which passes through Sherma. Oh, there's a thing. And then you've got Megacity 1 to Sherma, which is in Sherma. So as you can see, it does represent a high level of very profitable sales. Oh, well, look, here's another one. Asgard to Atlantis, which passes through Sherma. And then one more. Typical. New York to Miranda. Goes nowhere near Sherma. So we'll take that one off our Christmas card list. Right, so we've got three routes, many of which are making a good amount of money. And as you can see, the 2 up, 2 down is working nicely. Someone asked in the last episode, actually, what the heck I meant when I said 2 up, 2 down. Well, it's actually it's down, down, up, up, fundamentally. But if you were to look at the tracks, as we are doing now, as you can plainly see, we have 2 tracks going up on that side, 2 tracks going down on this side. And it is now the same for the entire circumference of the main line. I've fixed all of it, and they run pretty well. Now, you might wonder why I've got both pink and teal running on that line. And if I were to bring this up, it would clearly show that there is something running on the next line as well. It would clearly show that if something were running on the next line as well, but apparently nothing is running on the next line as well. Well, that's a minor inconvenience as far as my narrative is concerned. I suppose what we could have done is take one of these and wang them on another station. What are we looking for here? Asgard, Atlantis, or Hogsmeade. Well, Hogsmeade, Pleasant View would be the way to go here. So we could run the pleasantness of the view, because the whole point of this is to avoid train sharing platforms as much as possible. That way you can increase your throughput. So when you get to Sherma on the way, I'm going to confuse myself, on the way back towards yonder Asgard, yes, so this one, right, change that to be 6. See? Okay, good. Yeah, that's broken it. But that's okay, because if we then change Asgard to also be 6, like so, it should fix it again. There we go. It's because it doesn't like cross... What are you doing? Oh, I see. Johnny Teal here seems to be having some funny ideas about life. What are you playing at? No, stay on that line. What's the matter with you? Asgard 7. It's because you're turning at Asgard. Okay, right. Well, in which case, you're going to need a signal intervention here to prevent... In fact, no, we could just put this back again and then move on with the show. There you go. Go back to 5s. There you go. See, and then it's all occupied here, but we do have a spare station here at the moment, which I don't like. Oh, well, what else could you do there? Well, I could put. I could. No, let's go. Oh, I've unglued my brain here, and now we're just we're freestyling it as we head towards some kind of narrative point. Right, I need a signal to set a waypoint for that teal line, and you will do nicely. Obviously, I have replaced all of the signals along the way. I've probably added a few more in, actually, in order to keep things rolling around nicely. So if you then go through that one, there you go. So now you've got pink and red sharing a line. This teal number gets its own darkness to play with. And then once again, pink is on the wrong line. I think pink was actually on the right line the entire time, and it was only this teal number that was just getting in the way. Anyway, these are very profitable lines, and at the moment, if we call up what vehicles are running on them, because we're going to make some changes. Vehicles. You clicked the wrong button there. So metro liners, 5 of them. And then you've got the, I think there's a Highline. Yeah, it is the Central Highliner on this one, and then the Scepter is running on the 3rd. Now the Scepter is actually, we've got room for another couple of those. Finances, speak to me. 3 and a bit million a year, and you're running largely full. That's what you're looking for, is services that do have a high level of fullitude. I apologise for the rapid map scrolling here. I'm heading out to Alpha Complex to bang a train on. Right. So I don't want to deprecate any of these individual trains. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to catapult a few more up the line and see how that gets on. Right. Local Hogs Ples is running a multi-unit electric number. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, I'm not a big fan of the Central Highliner. I think it looks a little bit I mean, obviously, you're entitled to your own opinion, but I just think it's a little bit, dreary. So I might have a look and see if there's a diesel that has got some pace that could take its place there. I mean, it's fine. It's just not very exciting. Really, excitement is what you require from a train. Flipping too right, I do. Right, okay. Anyway, we've got Scepters. We go. Where's my current configuration? So the Silverliner Scepter, we'll go with 1, 2, yeah, and you've not stuck them together in that way that would be preferable, and then what? Just a bit of this and that in the rear. Okay, well we could do a bit of this and that. Yep. Have one of those. Yep, and then have another one of these. In fact, I think I know what I've done. Right, cancel those, and then just go, and I want of them, and I want of these, and I want of those. That's like the sort of thing that I would do. So if we then combine all of those together, obviously if it would take the entire consist up at once, it would look good. Actually, that looks all right. That's got a capacity of 148, which should match this, and it does. Although this one is only transporting 9 people, which is a bit of a concern. but we're not going to be downtrodden by that. We're not going to be off put. We're going to set this lot Asgard Atlantis, which is a local service. Asgard Atlantis. Off you go. We'll fire 2 of them up there, and I'm sure it will work out swimmingly. Right. Okay. For my next trick, we're going to bang out. I mean, Megacity 1 Sherma is currently running twin. And in fact, it's not even got that much capacity. What I want is more wagons on there. So if this is running, which it is, the Metro Liner, or a Metro Liner variant, certainly. Let's have a look. So it'll be the Bud, won't it? Yeah, we're running 2 Bud Metro Liners back to back. Now, this is a slightly more iconic looking train. Locomotive, consist, whatever you want to describe it as. Yeah, no, let's set fire to the Highliners. We'll keep the Metro Liner in. Firstly, we'll have another one, and another one of those as well, and sling those together. Now that's a nice length train, but I think we can go one further. Let's add one more, and that way we get a capacity boost as well. Ooh, and we do like a capacity boost. So if I now call up this train, which arguably it should have called itself up there, but yeah, just tell you what, you get to work. You're going MCO Sherma, MCO to Sherma. There you go. And then we are now looking for a replacement for the Highliner. Also, while we're at it, we're going to replace this. Let's just bang on another electric trailing car. Now then, actually, I'll have a look in a sec. Bang one of those, please. Yeah, add. There you go. 3.5 million a vehicle. Is the pricing right? I mean, it does 193 kilometres an hour. No, I mean, the passenger capacity isn't that much, but no wonder these are making money. They're cheap as chips to run. Actually, they don't look like they match. They really don't look like they match, do they? Okay. If the thumbnail's anything to go by, so we'll get rid of that as well, and then we'll go one of those, yeah, and a pair of these. Right, that's what I've just deployed, isn't it? I think it is. Obviously, I now need to merge those together, like so, and we'll have 2 of them because I'm confident, and then we'll sling that out on MCO Sherma, which you haven't actually. You're breaking things again. Your brain's unglued, man. Oh well, no, not oh well. Pull yourself together, get it sorted out. Did I go 5 on there? What's the capacity? 108. That's still not that much, is it? Yeah, all right, whatever. Let's fling them up the line. MCO Sherma, right? There you go. For my next trick, we will then make it so that they all replace with this automatically when life gets them down. We'll have 1 up, 1 down, yep, and then 1 up, yeah, and then 1 down. That should be 108. Is it though? No, that's 144. Well, in which case, that's ruddy exciting. Yeah, turn it on, and I'll tell you what else, we'll replace it now. It's only 22 million quid, and I've got 11.3 billion in the bank. So I'm doing it just because I feel like it. Right, okay, so that's those sorted, which just leaves us with our friend, the Highliner here. I'm not watching them coming out of the depot as much as I do that routinely, purely because my intention is to ride all of these round to the line, and then we'll get to see a lot of action all at once. Yeah. Right, okay, what are we flinging on here? Let's have a look at diesel Mod 2 units, because I know that there are some that are relatively interesting on there. As tempting as it is to run the Alco, I don't have a finish to that sentence, because it's always tempting to run an Alco. I've got all of these BR class 150s, which I'm also itching to use, but I'm not going to mix them in amongst the American section of the track. That's just a Bombardier. We don't want that. That's way too European. There's no way we'd get away with that. What's this then? The Tighert is what? Give me a destination that this is. Look at these. A hybrid hydrogen-electric multiple unit. We'll be seeing one of these presently, would be my expectation. How long is it? You say it's extra long. It's got a capacity of 510. That's enormous. In fact, I know where I'm going to stick that, and because I know where I'm going to stick that, I know what I'm going to stick in place of the Highliner. We will switch that to go with the Amtrak. I think. I know. Do we like the Phase 2 or the Phase 3? No, we'll go with this. We'll take this Phase 3, or will we? From 1992, 160. Yeah, that's a ticket. We'll have one of them, and then we'll stick some nice American wagons behind it. Now, chances are, I'm going to choose the wrong ones. All right, so livery Puritans, do try and reflect on the fact that I have chosen incorrectly. These do 209. I don't think I've got a loco that actually goes with those. What about these? It doesn't really matter. I mean, I'll use them anyway because it should make a decent chunk of change. Yeah, okay. No, these will be fine. We'll go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which takes us up to 105 passenger capacity, and that would take us up to 119. Let's add another one. 6. Yeah, there you go. So that's 126. That's 140. Perfect. Yes, turn that on now. Although the loco is not quite as bright as the wagons it is hauling, which is a bit of a concern, but clearly not enough to have stopped me doing it. Right, I'm going to let that bed in, and we'll go check in on that. As you can see, we've got a bit of a queue going on now, even if it is just the one. But we've still got a bit of a queue going on because I've just flung half a dozen trains up the line. Now then, what that means is that I'm going to now replace the Atlantis cross-country route because as part of Double Up, Double Down, the activity that I conducted with myself, no, I didn't record it. It was far too repetitive, and even doing a speed run on that kind of thing would have been a little bit dry to watch. I had 2 or 3 trains get stuck on a goods line, so I had to get them out there. I put the wrong loco with these wagons, you know. This blue ticket is much more like it. So as you can see, this is it's a good length number, but we're gonna change it up. As much as it's making absolutely fistfuls of cash at the moment, we're going to put that ridiculous hydroelectric, solar wind powered, whatever you call it. In fact, it lives under diesel, doesn't it? Right, the short one does 189. It's also quick, but I don't want a short one. I want a long one. What do you cost to run a year? 15.3 million. And they're 100 million each. Well, good gracious. That's a lot. How about you? You're the same but different. Well, I think I prefer this colour scheme. What else we got here? The extra long. No, I think we'll just go with the long, because this is a very dramatic potential. Ooh, 200 metres long. It's not that long then. But yeah, let's turn it on. Replace them now. 266 million. It doesn't bother me, mate. I got 3 billion in the bank. No, I've got 11 billion. In the bank, and therefore I am not afeared of a train that has a high level of cost associated with it. At least not right now I'm not. Later on I may well be. But the reduction in turnaround time, mixed with the because it's very, very fast, mixed with heightened capacity, should mean that I don't need to buy another one. Let's go and say hello to it, shall we? Hello to it. There you go. We've done that now. Which way are you going? Where are we? We're in Hogsmeade. You're going back the other way, aren't you? But we'll ride along with this for a bit, because I want to see a couple of things. I want to see how fast it's capable of going, and more besides. 265 passengers on board. Well, if this doesn't ramp up a little bit of interest here, look at it, shaped like a dart. And there's some textures not loading in correctly. That's perfect. Hogsmeade could possibly benefit from a few more commuter vehicles. Well, no problem. Right, we'll click on that. We'll bring this up over here. That's going to be our scoreboard for the speedometer. Now, this line is not optimized for a 300 kilometre an hour train, so I'm not too bothered about what it tops out at. Although the previous service, I believe, was doing 160 plus, so we'll have a look and see what we're capable of. It's a little bit disappointing the pantograph is down, because we've got some pantographage available for those who require it. Now, as much as I was downplaying its potential top speed, we're already pushing 200 kilometers an hour, which is banging. Yes, banging is exactly what it is. That's official terminology from many rail services, and we're stopping because we've got a signal coming up that's halting our progress, which is just marginally disappointing. Is what it is. Because it was calling up to put this into the ridiculous English translation of the Japanese manga classic Akira, just as my coil was reaching the green line. Okay, now I'm sure many of you have watched said Japanese manga classic Akira in the past, and while I would always advocate for watching it in the original Japanese because it's better and the actors get the emotion across better, some of you may also be familiar with the cartoon series D'Artagnan and the Three Muskehounds, which impacts negatively on said English translation of Akira because it's the same voice actors. Yeah, I'm not even kidding there, bruv. So just as my coil was reaching the green line is a good phrase. I'm not entirely sure what it means, but theoretically one's coil should always be approaching the green line. But yeah, there you go. It's even worse when voiced by one of the cast of D'Artagnan and the Three Muskehounds. Now, whichever town we just left, we're going back there in a minute, because I just noticed, as did you, that there were 2 empty platforms there, and that is a recipe for me to get up to no good. So there we go. Right, okay, well, we're evidently we're getting rolling here. We've got 300 passengers on board. I would be amazed if we're making a profit. Let's have a look. 486k so far, because our running costs are off the chart. As you can see, the running costs have already spiked significantly. So this may be another one of those services that I only permit to run for a very temporary period, and that later on we reject it in favour of something more efficient and probably longer. We'll just put the Amtrak back on it. It was working perfectly well and making me a heck of a lot of cash. Anyway, we got up to 180 there, which isn't bad at all. The question is, how much are we going to make when we land in Caprica? Which I'm not going to keep us zoomed in because the funky roof there, it causes some dramatic stroboscopic camera behaviour, and that's not necessarily something that is good for those who like a seizure once in a while. Right, another 3.9 million. Oh dear. No, surely it hasn't added. There we go. It has now added that on to the graph. So the earning capacity is good, but it's only any good if there are those passengers there ready to be collected when it pulls into the next station. Because if those passengers are not there, then it's going to be running significantly more empty, and it's going to make it that much tougher to make any money out of it. So we're looking at a fairly high score as far as earning is concerned. How much are you packing there, Tiger? 180? Yeah, you see, that's less than half full. And therefore I'm led to believe that your net profit for the year is going to be down on where it was last year. We'll continue along to the end of here, and then we'll go and investigate what those empty platforms were all about, and I'll see if I can recall what the incredibly inspired plan was with that regard. Slowing to 150. Okay, well that's not a horrendous junction. What is nice is the length of the train. We like good long trains at this point, and that's going to be a focus in the next series as well. You know, Enough of these little short numbers. We want some long trains carrying a beefy number of passengers, and all the while still making a profit. If it were just long trains that we were bothered about, you just fling 86 wagons behind it and go, ta-da! Look at me and my no-cost mod. You're going to go, yeah, you're very clever. Now try doing it with costs turned on, and then come back to me. I know who you are. Yeah, your cities might look very pretty. It might all be terribly authentic, but you're not making any money. So there you go. Right, okay, we're rolling in now, although I'm not entirely sure who that is. In fact, I'm really not entirely sure who that is. You shouldn't be sharing this line. What are you running? You're running Atlantis Hogsmeade. Oh, you're the alternate route. Okay, then. Right, okay, here we are. Final destination, Atlantis. Everybody, get off the train. Please make a lot of money. And our survey says... that made 6 million quid. All right, okay, well, that will probably drop... okay, that's a high score. 588. Now, you've got... no, there are no more costs to be associated with this year. So 588 is actually superior to last year, which basically means if I can continue ramping a load of passengers in to ride this service, then that's a very good thing. There is, of course, the other knock-on effects that this will have, which will be more people riding on the local commuter services, which should, in addition, fuel up a little bit of extra use of commuters and potentially some extra town growth. Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. Also, while you were away, I did a bit of remodelling outside Atlantis. I'm going to start off here, but I thought I'd just mention it since we were passing. I flattened up some of the land in order to make it viable for the AI to grow out on this side. And these two towers here, they're new, because another thing that I did was I upgraded the planes. We've moved away from what we were using before, and now we're using the luxurious air travel of the future. We've got some Airbus action going on here, but still only one passenger at a time, people. Let's not get carried away, which is a bit of a shame. I'm not joking. That's slightly disappointing. The bus stop at the other end looks way better, but that doesn't mean that anybody is actually using it. They're just waiting for different buses. Right, okay, let's go and explore what that station was. Was it Pseudopolis or was it Trumpton? Because it will be one or the other. It was Trumpton. Okay. All right, what's going on in Trumpton? Nothing. It wasn't this station. Oh, okay. Well, which one was it then? I didn't think it stopped anywhere else. I went Pseudopolis, Trumpton, and then straight through Cap. Oh, hold on. We didn't go that way. You know, you're thinking of the other cross-country line. We went through Westerton to Winchesterton Fieldville, which has 2 open connections. Well, then, what can we do with those? Oh, of course, I built some interior loops, didn't I? Well, oh, and indeed are. Right, okay, well, we don't have a goods line here, and I've left that open, which means that a goods passing service could run through. That's jolly exciting. You've also got a truck stop built there. But as at the current time, there are no trucks actually servicing this town. Okay, well, if we're going to make this pay off, by this I mean this lengthy number here. If we're going to make this pay off, then routing some more passengers in here is going to be a good thing. Also, you've got 2 extra platforms you could play with there. We could put that cheeky little looping service on those. Run the goods up the middle there. All right, okay, that's the next episode. We'll do that next. Now then, let's head back to Sherma and see what's going on out there, and then see how badly I have completely hosed my income for the year. Right, Sherma. Let's keep an eye out for one of the new services. So there's a Scepter, which is running the same way as it always did. 148 on board, perfectly good. Here comes the new Hogsmeade to Pleasant View, which one would hope was capable of earning a little bit more now. The running costs were down last year, but it is a new locomotive, and running costs on newer locos are always a bit cheaper. But, you know, when you drop off now, what's this worth to us? You are worth 1.5 million. Okay, well, that's $1 million profit. It's March, so that would make 4 million profit by the end of the year. I round very generously there. All right, it's got a fighting chance of doing a little bit better. Hello, autosave. You're early. Oh no, I don't know. I loaded everything up to make sure I was in business. All right. Well, let's conceal that fact and then be about town, be about our business, be about the way there. When you're ready, thank you very much. Right, okay, so that's still bedding in, and I apologise for being a little bit all over the shop today, but I'm doing some things that are occurring to me at the point that they're occurring, because we're very much in a patch up the few remaining services kind of stage of the series now. That's Locust Street. Did I see a bus a minute ago? No, I saw a truck. Anyone see any buses? No, me neither. Right, well, given that we stop in Pseudopolis? No, we don't. You don't stop in Pseudopolis. You come out of Hogsmeade, you go to Winchesterton-Fieldville. Right. Or do you? Do you go to Trumpton? No, you don't. No, you go direct to Winchesterton-Fieldville, and therefore, if we were to zoom in now, we'd see a train. Well, there's a train. And this is what we're going to do in the next episode. So you would be wiping out valuable source material for next time around. All right. In which case, let's go find another one. Oh, okay. Well, look, the tram line in Caprica is doing absolutely gangbusters at the moment. So let's put another tram or two on there. I'm not entirely sure which one I'm running at the moment. Let's have a look. You are the commuter CPRC Spinwood, which is quite a dramatic name. Is there a Widdershins as well then? There only is. Okay, cool. So I'm going to stick another one of each on. In fact, some kind of similarity between the two services wouldn't go amiss. That's a Cobra, so we'll replace you with a Cobra as well. Trams. There you go. Add that onto there. Good. Replace it now. Let's not hang around. And then we'll stick one more on each. So Cobra up. 1, 2. I've never really looked into tram mods, you know. If there's any you recommend, let me know. I probably won't use them in this series, but in the next one, I almost certainly will. We want commuters to Spinwood, yeah, and then you go the other way. Shins, there you go. Excellent, grand, marvellous. Now, obviously, with all those passengers being picked up, look at the size of this. So Caprica is, perhaps unsurprisingly, the biggest city on the map at the moment, and even then it's not that big. I don't think I've had, or certainly I can't recall a time where I had a city with a population greater than 5,000. In this series it looks very unlikely that I'm going to break 3,000, although I am making the right moves now to kind of make that happen, so who knows. Arkham is obviously the smallest because we bulldozed it recently. These things happen. I'm sure worse things happen at sea. But we were always talking about putting a commuter line in there, which is why I put an enormous number of trams in. So let's call up this and do it now. Yeah, I don't see why not. Okay, good. So what should we do first? Well, you put some stops in. That's always a good place to start. Bus tram stop. I prefer, even though these work perfectly well. I by far prefer the full tram stations to the little stops. So you've probably got good coverage on this industrial area anyway, but because I've placed it out here, you're going to want to complete this block. So if I stick another one out there, you might not get much pickup, but on the off chance you do, that would be beneficial. We'll then stick the next one. Hold on, is that a bus tram stop I've already got there? Have I made a start on this? I have. No, that's not. That's a truck delivery stop. Okay, fine. In which case, we'll stick this on here. Although closer to that junction would be good. But you can't because you've got a truck stop there. Because that would then give us access to this bit. Having coverage that handles this bridge doesn't really do us any favours. So if I go, whoa, no, because that's off route. there. You're going to need to be over here somewhere or back here, and that doesn't do me any favours either. Okay. No, I think it's here or bust. All right. Well, or potentially both. Right, and then we'll go up top and we'll stop backside, front side. We'll go front side because there is nothing to be gained by going one way or the other. We'll then cycle round and go to the top deck up here because we obviously want to encourage these chaps into some kind of life. Just park right about there. There you go. And then, didn't I have a tunnel here at some point? Oh no, it's downstairs. Oh, bum. In which case, we'll stop downstairs afterwards. All right, I'll wander around to go do that. It's not efficient. No, but it's not about being efficient. It is about making sure that people can get from A to B and routing them as much as possible towards the stations, so that we maximise the number of people using the trains. Okay, and now you just need to get round to point 1 again, which would mean getting back on the top deck, which we don't really want to do. Well, I don't know what to tell you there, Gov. But tell you what, stopping over here would be nice. That'll drive some business for you. Okay, right. So now all we need to do, I don't think this is going to work. But we just need to come up with some kind of compelling bus route. I'm not sold on it. It's going to be black because, Batman lives here and whatnot. Right, stop here. Yeah, there's Cherry Street. Okay, next stop, this one. And then up and round and... Don't like it. Okay, you don't have to like it. This is not... Ooh, okay, that's an interesting route you've chosen. So you're backing up on yourself, which we don't like. You sure you don't feel like using the tunnel? Look, it goes in here and it comes out, over there. Yes. No, it's not ideal because then I would go here. And because we're priced as the crow flies, this is not the most conducive nor efficient way of doing this. All right, we'll carry on, and then we'll see what this leads to. And then you go around a Mill Street. So this first section is a bit wonky. Oh, hold on, it's not a bit wonky. Oh no, that's heading back again. And then we will head to there, which is just outside the station, and then over to here, which is not electrified. Oh, how annoying. And then you come back round, at which point we need to hit this one, and then that one, and then over here. You know what? It sort of works in that way that so many things kind of do, but better. In fact, it doesn't really work. Taylor Street is the problem. You want another one out here. No, here we go. This is what we do, is we'll stick a regular... a turning around tram station up here. I also need to make sure I'm electrified everywhere. Don't let me forget. Right, so if we stick a... no, thank you. If we stick one of these over here, right, and before you place it, it's all right, I've spotted it already. Before you place it, you electrify it. There you go. Right, good. Now, that only provides a tiny amount of catchment at the moment, but if it works out... then there is every chance that actually it will help beef up some usage in the future. And then we stick another station, whatever. If we stick another one here, right, now I know that there's some overlap going on there, but it's more about giving people the choice of 2 places to stop. So after Taylor Street, we come out to this, Arkham the sides, and then we go down this one. Then that makes a little bit more sense of this route. In fact, that makes a lot more sense of this route. It does overlap itself on a couple of occasions, but that's because the town overlaps itself on a couple of occasions. Right, okay, so that's 12 stops. It's enormous. This is your commuter Yes, arc. Well, what do you want to call that? Spinwood or Widdish? I'm going to call it Spinwood because of this line heading out in that direction, sort of. Spinwood. It's fine as long as I do the same going Widdishins. I'm not going to make this a back and forthy route. I'm going to do 2 dedicated routes because I'm a consummate professional. So let's consummate that professionalism now, shall we? Start at 12. Okay. Your guess is as good as mine. There we go. Start at 12. So there we go. 12. Yeah. 11. Yeah. No. Wrong click. Misclicked. So 12. Yes. 11. Yes. 10. Yes. And 9. I am going to make you sit through me doing a countdown. 8. 7. Yeah. 6. Anyone? Yeah. 6. And 5. And 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. Right, so then you've got commuter, whatever it's called, arc, yeah, Widdishins. Right, good. Now then, we've got a little bit of electrification to do, and we can set a whole bunch of trams up there. So it's just a case of show me where you have, not that one, this one. Show me where you have the electricity, please, and where you do not. All right, well, we need some here and a bit there and a bit what's it, and going around here. Do you want to do this line as well? No, that one should be okay, but no, that should be okay. Anywhere else? Let's have a quick look. So far, so good. That's not electrified, and nor is that, which it will definitely need to be. And also, since this is turning around, although it could turn round up there and come back that way, look. Well, do that one as well, because it won't want to do that. And then, any more obviously missed? No, it looks like all of these kind of parallel crossing streets here, it looks like they're all working. I think that might have got it. Apart from, no, even the run out to the turnaround is working. Okay, well, we'll soon find out because it will tell me if I'm unable to pursue this course of action. So let's get in here. Let's buy some trams. They're all going to be ooh, do we like the Skoda or? There's nothing in it speed wise. I'll go with whatever's quickest. All right, no, let's go with the Skoda. It's nippy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm not messing. We will go with the Arc Spinwood. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we'll set those on the shins. And if that doesn't drum up a little bit of interest, then I'm a Dutchman. Well, I'm probably not a Dutchman. Although, given the number of Dutch individuals who are watching the show, maybe I am. Maybe I am closetly of the Netherlands. Who could really say? Right, okay, that's obviously going to take ages before it starts to do anything. So we'll start out there for the next episode so we can see how it's progressing. Meanwhile, to wrap up today, and yes, this has been a bit of an odds and sods episode, we will head back out to, you guessed it, Sherma, where hopefully there will be plenty of action going on. Okay, now there's a modest amount of action, and better than that, it's all Amtrak. Now, that in itself is not necessarily a mean or indeed rare feat. However, it is slightly unusual that I run a single kind of rail route in and out on using the same train. It's all American, even if it's not all Amtrak. Well, nice piece of coverage there. Although I would argue that the Scepter possibly is also part of Amtrak. Although the livery not being the same would indicate otherwise. MCO Sherma is only running 50% capacity. Also, it's loading incredibly slowly. So far, losing a bit of cash, that one. That's obviously one of the new ones. How about you? You should surely be making me a bunch of cash. You're making a respectable amount. That's good. Oh, hello. Johnny Foreigner's turned up. And it's empty. Where the heck are you going? You're Sherma Mint. So this is the Minas Tirith to Sherma Express service. And what sort of demand have we got here? 0. You've got to be joking. 0 demand? Okay, then this service is heavily cannibalized. Probably by those local Amtrak services because they're actually quite quick. And I suspect this train only tops out at 160. In which case, I'm about to replace it with something a little bit speedier. Yep, there we go. Yeah, nobody wants to ride it. How much did you make in the last couple of years? You made $1 million in revenue, but burned through $6 million in running cost. And that number is, well, it's gone down from the high point. And this is what happens when you replace trains. So whenever you replace the loco that's running on a line, frequently you'll find that it cannibalizes the lines around it because it now runs with more passengers or slightly faster or whatever it is. So this now needs to compete with those American services. So you're fired. Let's go find something nippy. I don't think those chunky little British diesels are going to do the job somehow. 120. No, they're not even... Alco time. 188. Yes. Really? It's not really new, though, is it? It's not, though, is it? All right, well, hold on. I'll do a quick peruse, but I'm not joking when I say that I'm serious that we might stick. In fact, no, I'm not even going to debate it any further. We're having it. We're going to put the Alco, and then I'm going to use the Bombardier bi-level on there as well. I believe they sort of get used together occasionally, might have once upon a time, and if not, then they should have. There you go, that's me covered. Totally authentic all the time. Right, okay, Bombardier. Yeah, how fast do you go? 160. Yeah. Well, it will just show up because it's a bi-level. You've also got these. No, that's no good to anybody too. It's far too slow. Those only do 140. Oh, this is no good. Well, in which case, let's bang some more Amtrak. Let's bang some Amtrak stuff on there. Because we already know that's up to speed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. What are you debating here? Oh, I don't know. It could just be that I'm not looking with scrupulous enough an eye. But to me, you take. I mean, they all look pretty much similar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 105. And then let's go 126. That takes it up to 147, which is a bad number. 168 is a good number. Okay, turn it on. Replace it now. Now, admittedly, the Alco PA PB, which is what it is probably somewhat out of date to be running at this stage of the universe. But to that I say, nuts. I'm not bothered. I'm over it. And for those of you who are going to go, run a big boy, you'll have to tune in to the live stream that will round out the series in order to put that request in live. And then we'll run one somewhere probably. Don't know where, but it could happen. We're just waiting now for one of these to turn up, and then we can celebrate the newness that is a 27th century Alco being thrust into service. Right, it's currently got no passengers on board. However, this is quicker, and it is a piece of American history brought back to life, smog included, in order to something. I've been Colonel Failure. Thank you very much for watching today. Yes, a very bitty episode, this one, but there are few major projects that can be conducted now while still trying to run in a profitable fashion, because we're largely hitting demand, at least in a connectivity sense. So we're hitting the demand for passengers wanting to get from station A to station B. That's just being done. So we're now looking for opportunities to kind of refine and impress rather than anything to solve a particular problem. I'd really rather that we didn't have to look at this piece of patchwork grassland here, but we should emerge from the tunnel momentarily, and then I'll pick up some kind of end of episode narrative in that way that I often do. Brace yourselves, it's going to come up any second, just any time now. But hey, look at that hill looks nice, doesn't it? It's quite a nice bit of bridge. That's where the mainline freight runs, that bridge, because the mainline passenger service runs underground. Come on, there we go. This is why I don't like long tunnels. 101. You're capable of 188. Make it so. I've been Colonel Failure. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy this series and want to make sure you're around for the start of the next one, as well as the end of this one, fling a subscription at this channel. I cover other things as well, and they're all quite a lot of fun. So it would behoove you to click the subscription button right now. Gosh darn it! And while you're about it, if you've enjoyed yourself today, and it doesn't matter whether my video is included or not, press the like button. It's just a message there to the outer cosmos that things are going pretty well with you. That's it. That's your lot. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you next time. Come on, train. Look, I have to leave people with a compelling shot, or the whole thing is a disaster. There you go. That's compelling. Cheerio. Okay, so that was a bit of a spotty episode. A bit of this, a bit of that, just a bit of a tinkering around here. And as much as that tends to be how I play if I'm not recording it, as much as I don't do that very often, it doesn't make for a good, well put together kind of story there. So I won't do another one of them. No, not for a little while. In the next episode, we'll do something a little bit more structured. We'll have a purpose in mind. Obviously, this is total lies. I'll get distracted as much as I always do, but I'll start out with a purpose, and then allow us to wander around as may suit us as the episode develops. And I hope to see you there.